During the recent time of my absence, I upgraded the PlayStation 4 Classic that I got used for 150 euros with a game and a controller to a new PS4 Pro, and it's a fresh out of the box one as well. Why did I upgrade? To be honest with you, I don't really know either. But my local GameStop had an interesting deal that I'd consider pretty good. So all you had to do to get a new PlayStation 4 Pro was to trade in your old PS4 with a controller, 3 games, and an extra charge of 100 euros. I already owned the console, a controller, and a game that I wanted to trade in, which again cost me a total of 150 euros. And after a few minutes search in eBay, I actually found 2 other games that I was able to buy for 20 euros and which GameStop actually accepted. So all I had left to do was to pay the store 100 euros, and that got me my new PlayStation 4 Pro. And in total, I only had to pay 270 euros for it. At the time of buying the system, I thought it was a good choice, especially since I was able to trade in old games and an old console that I got used for a completely new one, which has even better hardware in it. And when the PS4 lifecycle comes to an end, it will also make it easier to sell the system again. This also makes for a great opportunity to revisit the Jak and Daxter series on PS4 using a PS4 Pro, and to see what has changed with better hardware. You can find the system version as well as the game version that I was using for this video down below in the description. But enough talk, have at you. Obviously we're gonna have a look at everyone's favorite first, and that is Jak 1. After a few hours of messing around, I haven't really noticed any differences at all. You get the occasional hiccup here and there, but the game generally runs fairly smooth. So it appears to me that the game runs equally well on PS4 and PS4 Pro. And the same can be said about Jak X as well. To be fair though, those 2 games were running quite nicely when they first came out. So I didn't expect to see much of a change here. So going into Jak 2 and 3, my expectations were a little bit higher. Taking a closer look at Jak 2 specifically, revealed that the first room in Fortress that you spawn in isn't as laggy anymore. And once again, after playing for a little while, I've noticed some minor improvements here and there. Sadly, there's still a lot of areas that suffer from performance issues, such as entering the Hip Hog or fighting Praxis in Mars Tomb. But overall, it was a lot more enjoyable to play the game. Unfortunately, I didn't come to any conclusions regarding Jak 3, since I don't really have anything to compare it to. I will say though, for the time that I was playing, I certainly had a bearable or playable experience. And here's the part where I've gotten a little bit unsure about everything. So am I now seeing the PS4 Pro at work, or is it potentially the system updates that improve the game performance? It had to be either of the 2, because there hasn't been a single patch for any of the PS4 releases for roughly 6 months as I'm releasing this video. And sadly, I don't own my old PlayStation 4 anymore, so that I could make a side-by-side comparison for you guys. So I was talking to some other Jak and Daxter speedrunners, and I came to the conclusion that it's a mixture of both, system updates and improved hardware. The frame rate on the PlayStation 4 release certainly has been improved, but if I would have a chance to go back to my comparison video and edit in the information that I have today, I would not change the comparison, because I still prefer PlayStation 3 over PlayStation 2 over PlayStation 4. Something that the PS4 Pro and the system updates didn't address are the limited directional inputs in Jak 1, 2, and 3, as well as the lack of an option to switch back to the original camera controls for Jak 1 and 2. I would imagine that those 2 are quite an easy fix, since hooking up a PlayStation 4 controller to the PC and booting up Jak on an emulator shows that you can get the full range of directions very close to the original PS2 controller. And I was actually tweeting at Portable Kingpin, suggesting that you could add an option in the PlayStation 4's accessibility menu to simply swap left and right on the left analog stick. He told me that he and his team have a different solution for it and that it is not required, but then again, we haven't seen a game-specific patch for the series in quite some time. I'm glad to see though that the frame rates of the games are finally in a place where I would have loved them to be when they first came out. Where I believe the PS2 version still outperforms even the PS4 Pro is the consistency of the frame rate. I wish it would be more balanced on PlayStation 4. You get really smooth 60 FPS in one spot, and then a few seconds later, the frame rate dips down to what seems like not even more than 20 FPS. You need to keep in mind though that this is an emulation and not a true remaster like we got on PlayStation 3. And even with the HD Collection's punch glitch, I think that it does a better job of preserving the Jak series for future generations than the PS4 version does. Do you have a PS4 Pro and you've noticed something that I haven't? Let me know in the comments down below, or simply tell me which version of the game you like the best. And once you're there, don't forget to rate the video with a like or a dislike. Okay, that's all the time I've got. I gotta get back to playing Animal Crossing New Leaf on my Nintendo 3DS. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, bye bye.